Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and in today's show, we're going to be going through a New York Giants 7-round mock draft. I didn't make any trades in this mock draft. Kind of just want to set the table a little bit. No trades because I want to familiarize you guys and myself with prospects that are going to be available when the Giants are on the clock with the 9 picks that they have. I use the Pro Draft Football Simulator, so don't come for me if you say this guy's not going to be available at that spot. Because every year, there's always a player like DK Metcalf that slips in the second round, or A.J. Brown or Deebo Samuel. You can always get good football players later in the draft. So the first 4 picks went like this. Before we get to tell you who the Giants picked at number 5, Aiden Hutchinson, the edge rusher out of Michigan, went number 1 to the Jags. Kayvon Thibodeau went number 2 to the Detroit Lions. Ike Mekwonu went number 3 to the Houston Texans. And Sauce Gardner went number 4 to the New York Jets. So there's a lot of players you could go at this spot. I weighed a couple options. I thought, Trayvon Walker, but I wanted to make sure I got one of my top 2 tackles on the board. I went with Evan Neal with the 5th overall pick. Look, the Giants, they haven't needed offensive tackle, and Evan Neal was the number 1 tackle left on the board for me. I have him number 2 behind Ike Mekwonu. I got Ekwonu, Neal, then Cross. There are rumors that the Giants like Cross the most, but we won't know for sure until NFL Draft Day. Arguably, he's the most complete tackle in the draft. I think Ike Mekwonu is the best run blocker. I think Charles Cross is the best pass blocker. But if someone that does everything the best or just about at the top, that's Evan Neal, and the Pro Football Focus numbers show that. An overall grade of 84.5, a pass block grade of about 80, a run block grade of 83.6, and 2 sacks. He is just a mammoth of a man. Him and Andrew Thomas as your bookend tackles for the next 10 years, sign me up. Saquon Barkley gets immediately better if you add Evan Neal. Daniel Jones gets immediately better. And so does every weapon on this Giants offense, because if you have more time to throw in the backfield or to run with more running lanes, you're going to be a better offense. But let me do this for you. Rank these guys in order from 1, 2, 3. I think it's Ekwonu, Neal, and then Charles Cross. But I want to take the pulse of you guys because I love audience interaction. That's what we thrive on here at Chat Sports. I'll be in the comment section reading. So let me know how you would rank these 3 guys in order: Neal, Ekwonu, or Cross. With the 6th pick, the Carolina Panthers selected the edge rusher out of Georgia, Trayvon Walker. So the first 6 picks: Hutchinson, Thibodeau, Ekwonu, Gardner, Neal, Walker. And then the Giants are back on the board with pick number 7. So I want to ask this question. Who would you draft in this scenario? Would you go Jermaine Johnson? Would you go Kyle Hamilton? Would you go Garrett Wilson? Would you trade back? I elected to stay here. And there's a guy that I haven't heard much rumors about, but Jeremy Fowler reported that the Giants could be interested in Derek Stingley at pick number 7. And I think he was the best player left on my board, and it matched the position in need. You lost out on Sauce Gardner, but you arguably get the best corner in this draft. If you could turn injuries off Madden style, he would be the number 1 cornerback in this draft. He's an elite athlete. His freshman year at LSU, he was the best corner in the nation. Yes, as a freshman, he was the best corner in the nation. Had some injuries pop up his sophomore and junior year, but he is an elite athlete with great man-to-man skills, and that matches what Wink Martindale wants to do. He wants to play bump and run, press man coverage. I think Gardner is a little bit better than him, but Stingley is just as good and can evolve into a better player. He's got great ball skills and has all-pro talent. Derek Stingley is the real deal. The only thing is that he didn't play that much at LSU. He played 15 games his freshman year, but after that, in his sophomore and junior year, he only played in 10 games. He had a little bit of a knee injury, had a little bit of an ankle injury. But honestly, after my freshman year, if I knew I was going to be a top 10 pick and already showed I'm the best corner in the nation, I'm not going out there and playing on a gimpy leg. I'm going to make sure that I'm healthy and can enter the NFL draft as a healthy prospect and secure the bag. His career stats at LSU: 21 pass breakups, 6 interceptions, 7 tackles for loss, 73 tackles. He's a mean cornerback. He likes to get his hands on you. He's got the speed and the play style to match any receiver in the slot or on the outside. And he's not afraid to get his nose dirty and deliver a blow in the backfield. He likes to lower that shoulder and deliver some contact. But pick a cornerback for me. Maybe both are going to be on the board at 7 or at 5. I personally think Gardner is going to go in the top 4. But let me know who you think is better. Don't think about injuries, or you can. I don't really care. Type SG for Sauce Gardner or DS for Derek Stingley. In the second round, these were the guys left on the board at pick number 36. You got the interior offensive lineman, Kenyon Green out of Texas A&M. Lewis Seen, the sideline-to-sideline safety out of Georgia. Jalen Petrie, one of my favorite players in this draft. I think he's a Tyrann Mathieu 2.0. Then you got the playmaking wide receiver out of Penn State, Jahan Dotson. Or you could take arguably the best back in the draft, Breece Hall, at 36. But you know what? I went and stuck to my notes. Best player available. I love Jalen Petrie, but Kenyon Green has a top 25 grade on my board, and he fits a position of need. The Giants have a weakness at left guard, and that's what Kenyon Green is going to play in the NFL draft. He played everywhere at A&M. Left tackle, right tackle, both guard spots, a little bit at center, and he's likely going to slide to left guard, and that's where he's going to be best in the National Football League. He has a round one grade, in my opinion, and if he slips to 36, and you can add a second offensive lineman with your first 3 picks and completely overhaul that unit, Joe Schoen is going to have a statue built outside of MetLife if Kenyon Green, and Evan Neal are hits in the NFL. When you look at what Green did last year at Texas A&M, the stats allowed 1 sack, only 2 QB hits, 7 QB hurries, and an 83.6 run block grade. Kenyon Green is a solid offensive guard in the NFL, and he was so at Texas A&M. He held his own in the SEC against great edge rushers. So this is someone that I think would be a day one starter for the New York Giants, and I think the offensive line could look like this. Andrew Thomas at left tackle, Kenyon Green at left guard, John Feliciano at center, Mark Lewinsky at right guard, and Evan Neal at right tackle. This is a way better unit than the Giants trotted out last year, and Saquon Barkley is going to be a much better player because of it. So will Daniel Jones. But what is your confidence in this O-line if this was the week 1 starting unit for the New York Giants? You got Thomas, Green, Feliciano, Glowinski, Evan Neal. That's 2 first-round picks at each tackle, an early second-round pick at left guard in Kenyon Green, and Mark Lewinsky you just gave a solid amount of money to in NFL free agency. So grade it or give me your confidence on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you're not confident at all, or 10 being this is the best unit in the NFL. Get your thoughts in the comment section right now. And also subscribe to the channel here at Giants Now. We're growing like crazy. One of the fastest growing YouTube channels that covers the New York Giants. So subscribe, hit that big red button, because we do free daily videos every single day. We don't just pop up for the NFL draft. When the NFL draft is done, we're going to continue to do videos every single day. In the dog days of June or July, we will do videos every single day. I can't say the same about other New York Giants YouTube channels. Help us get to 8,000 subscribers. Hit that big red button and join us live for the NFL drafts, because we'll be live for pick 5 and pick 7. The NFL draft rolled on, and at pick number 67, these were the best guys left on the board. Nik Bonitto, the edge rusher out of Oklahoma. Trey McBride, arguably the best tight end in the NFL draft out of Colorado State. Brandon Smith, the off-ball backer out of Penn State. Then John Mechie, one of my favorite wide receivers in the draft out of Alabama. And then Jalen Tolbert, another wide receiver I like a lot out of South Alabama. But I stuck true to my board. I had a second-round grade on Nik Bonitto, so I went and took him. The edge rusher out of Oklahoma. I think he's a day one starter as a stand-up 3-4 edge rusher. I think he comes in and is going to add some strength and some sauce to the New York Giants front 7. Him, Azeez Ojulari, Leonard Williams, Quincy Roche. That's going to be a good rotation of edge rushers. He's got good size, 6'3", 260 pounds, a 4.5, 440-yard dash. And the thing I like about him the most, 36% of his tackles the past 2 seasons came in the opponent's backfield. And he's a good athlete with the frame that he can add more muscle to. Second team all Big 12 last year, and he led the team in tackles for loss with 15 of them. He dominated the Big 12. He was a nightmare for offensive linemen to block. 7 sacks, 15 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, 39 total tackles. Bonitto, Ojulari, Leonard Williams, Quincy Roche, Ellerson Smith, the Giants, they have a young nucleus of pass rushers if they add Bonitto. At pick number 81, Jalen Tolbert was still on the board. So was Brandon Smith. And the other 3 best players available were Isaiah Spiller, Isaiah Likely, and Leo Chenal out of Wisconsin. And I thought to myself, you know what? The Giants, they need another playmaker on the outside, and he was my highest rated receiver left, and that's Jalen Tolbert out of South Alabama. He rewrote the record book there. He set a record for career catches, 178. A record for receiving yards, 3,140. Touchdown catches, 22. And he had 10 games of over 100 yards. Jalen Tolbert is a very good wide receiver. And I like what I saw from him when I put on the tape. He can win on the outside. He can slide in the slot and win there too. He has to advance a little bit in his route running, but he has the size and the speed to stretch the field. This is someone that you could put outside and win those one-on-one matchups. Last year, 82 grabs, almost 1,500 yards, 18 yards per catch, and 8 touchdowns. This is someone that could be a number 1 wide receiver if he progresses the way I think he can in the National Football League. And it would help out a wide receiver room in Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney that didn't score a touchdown last year. Darius Slayton's being shopped in trade talks, and Sterling Shepard, he's coming back from an Achilles injury. The Giants, their wide receiver room lacks a little bit of talent, and if you draft Jalen Tolbert, it would be a much better unit than it was on Wednesday before Thursday and Friday of the NFL draft. But name a wide receiver you want the Giants to draft. I think Tolbert at 81 would be a steal of a pick. I'm not even sure if he's going to be there, but if he is, I hope the Giants pounce on him because he's one of the most athletic and deep threat specialists in this draft. And he's not just a deep threat. He can go over the middle, has strong hands. But let me know a wide receiver you want the Giants to draft. The NFL draft and this mock draft rolled on, and round 4, pick 112. I went with Jelani Woods, the tight end out of Virginia. 6'7", 253 pounds, ran a 4.6 140. He's the real deal. I've heard a lot of people talk about if LeBron James played football, that's what Jelani Woods would be, and that's what he looks like out there. He's not easy to tackle. He can go across the middle and make the tough catches, 44 grabs for 600 yards, 13.6 yards per catch, and 8 touchdowns. And he's a great blocker. Overall, Woods needs to tighten up his route running and overall consistency, but his size, blocking potential, and catch point upside are an attractive package. He's a prototypical wide tight end at the next level, and he caters his game after Mercedes Lewis, someone that has had a long career in the NFL and someone that I think is smart to model your game after, and that's what Jelani Woods reminds me of. I like him a lot. I think he'd be great in the Brian Daboll offense. Take that role of Dawson Knox. Round 5, pick 147. I had the Giants take someone that has been rumored and talked about in the draft process a whole bunch, and that's James Cook. Do I think he'll be there at round 5? Maybe, but in our draft simulator, he was there, and it's because he wasn't that great of an actual running back at Georgia. Didn't get the most touches, only 113 carries, 728 yards, but this is someone that is going to be used as a weapon in the Brian Daboll offense. 27 catches, 284 yards, 10.5 yards per catch, 4 touchdowns. This isn't just a receiving back that has good hands. This is someone that's a good route runner and has the ability to create separation at the point of attack against linebackers, against safeties. He's someone that you could split out wide and play as a wide receiver. I like everything Cook can do. I don't think he's an every down running back, but he can be on the field the same time as Saquon Barkley, and I think that's something the Giants are going to look for, because I think Barkley is going to be used more as a receiver this year. Cook could be that third down back when Barkley's tired. I really like what Cook can do, a good hard runner, but also a dynamic receiver out of the backfield. In round 5 and pick 173, I had the Giants selecting the safety out of Oklahoma, Delaren Turner-Yell. A strong safety that likes to play in the box, 53 tackles last year, 2.5 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, and 1 pass breakups. One thing that I'm not too high on him is the fact that he does get pretty much a personal foul every game because he's an aggressive player. He likes to come downhill. He likes to deliver a blow, someone that can improve in coverage, but has the ability to sometimes guard a receiver in the slot and line up over receivers or tight ends when they're connected in line. He's a physical player. He has good speed. He likes to lower his head and deliver a blow. I think he'd be really good and used in a creative way in a Wink Martindale defense. For the last pick for the New York Giants, I went with another interior offensive lineman, and that's Donovan West out of Arizona State. I think he could challenge Feliciano to be a day 1 starter at that center spot. If he's not, he can work towards it, and maybe year 2 or maybe year 3, he slides in there. He was a 4-year starter for Arizona State, an overall PFF grade of 73.3. Only allowed 1 sack last year. I like his versatility. He can play guard and center, but I think he easily transitions to a center spot in the NFL, and you're getting another player that fills a position of need, and he was the best player on the board at that spot with the Giants' last pick in the NFL draft. So I think that's a great pick for me, GM Marsh, at that spot. I like Donovan West a lot. I don't know if he's a year 1 starter. He could challenge Feliciano, but down the line, I think he's a starting caliber center in the NFL. We'll quickly recap the picks I made in the NFL mock draft. Evan Neal at number 5, day 1 starter. Derek Stingley, if he can stay healthy, he could easily be the best corner from this draft. In round 2, I went with best player available, and it was Kenyon Green, who fits a big need. He'll be a day 1 left guard for the New York Giants. Then I went with the edge rusher out of Oklahoma, Nik Bonitto. I think he has real upside, and so does Jalen Tolbert. I think he has wide receiver 1 upside. Then I went round 4, Jelani Woods. Round 5, James Cook. Round 6, De'Aaron Turner-Yell. And the other round 6 pick, I went Donovan West, the interior offensive lineman. I give this a B grade. I probably would, if I could do it again, address the safety spot a little bit earlier in this mock draft. I think you only got Xavier McKinney and Julian Love, so you need to address it. But grade this mock draft. Be harsh in the comment section. If I don't give at least 1 F, I know it wasn't that really good of a mock draft. My mom already gave it an A, so grade this mock draft in the comment section.